Hey everyone, Pastor Eric here. Yes, I am in my closet. As you can see behind me, I have clothes behind me. That's because my office right now is not at the church, but it's in my closet in my bedroom. So I'm coming to you from that. This is my life right now, but hey, we're making the best we can out of this situation, right? So if I have to sit in a closet and interact with you and study God's Word, that is exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to continue on in our chair time with Psalms. And before we do that, I want to ask you a question. Do you ever feel distant from God? You're probably thinking, why would you even ask that question? Of course I do. And I do too. There are times in my life where it feels like everything is going right. I'm in the Word, I'm praying, I'm going to church, I'm being generous with my finances, I am being a good husband or a dad, and it still feels like God is distant. Why does that happen? That's for another video. But for this video, I want to address another reason why God feels distant sometimes. This actually has nothing to do with God. It has to do all with us. You see, in Psalm 51, David has committed adultery with Bathsheba. And David understands that he has followed his own passions, his own desires, and he has the power to do that. But when he did that, not only does he hurt his family in the process, he puts a barrier up between God and him. Sin always puts up a barrier. And we're going to see in this psalm that we have the potential to remove that barrier, that God gives us the gift of what we call confession. And when we confess, when we do something wrong, God immediately restores that relationship with us. We've never lost the relationship, but the feelings of that relationship and the closeness of that relationship is altered when we continue to follow our own desires and not follow God. So look what David says about what he did. Verse 1 through 3, he says, "Have mercy on me, O God, because of your unfailing love. Because of your great compassion, blot out the stains of my sins. Wash me clean from my guilt and purify me from my sin." I love that David says, I've done something really bad, and I don't deserve your love or your compassion. But God, that is who you are. You are loving, you are compassionate. And because of that, I am crying out to you and asking you to heal me, to forgive me, to restore our relationship to what it was before. And I love that David knows God's character and he calls upon that in the midst of his sin. And when he does that, his relationship with God is restored. And I love that David, again, he says in verse 12 here, "Restore to me the joy of your salvation and make me willing to obey you." He's literally saying, I've lost my joy. I've lost touch with you. I'm empty. And because I'm crying out to you in the midst of my sin, I know you will not just forgive me, but you'll give me back the joy that I can only find in you. So let me end our time with this. Is there something in your life that you are continuing to commit in your life, and you recognize you've lost that intimate relationship with God? You've lost the joy that you once had. This is not God's fault. This is our fault. But what's so great about God is if you cry out to him right now, for whatever you've done, for however long you've been holding that in, if you cry out to God, because of his unfailing love, because of his compassion, he will restore his joy in you. Don't wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. Do it today. God is willing to receive you. Until next time, love you guys.